Welcome to BNN 247, the real voice of Black USA, broadcasting live this Sunday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Want to welcome my co-host, Mr. Claude Foster, back to 2026 and say
Happy New
thank you, my
Year!
brother.
Happy New
Glad to
Year!
see you.
Happy New Year! I survived the debutante season. It just ended.
You made
Me,
it.
me and my wife survived it, man. I tell you, it was something.
Well, I'm glad you made it, man. I've been following the news lately. This stuff is getting crazy.
Oh yeah,
And you know, that gave me a thought to talk about the topic that I brought up today, and that is trust being a must and loyalty is unquestionable. And leadership, where is it? So I wanted to go back and say what all these leaders we had. At one time, it seemed like we had an over an abundance of leadership. And then all of a sudden, there's been a vacuum with nothing in it. And now it puts us in a position where we're scrambling now because we don't have representation. And without representation, we're still considered nobody.
well, part of that is when you look at can the church, people are talking about the church. Can the church survive another 10 years? That's where our leaders came from. So if the church is half the membership it used to be when you and I was growing up, where are the leaders coming from? Where are those bold speakers coming from? Where are those voices we need today coming from? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're not coming from the entertainment industry. The
Mm-hmm.
money's too good.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Dick Gregory and all of them can fill them gaps.
There's a lot of people out there
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
things.
doing
Right,
things.
right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about something on CNN. So hold on just a second. What is she talking about?
She's probably talking about the Venezuelan.
You want to know something? After this regime change in Venezuela,
Yeah.
I fear that we're going to see jobs just move south because we're already hearing about big corporations lining up their trips to Venezuela for the next big business opportunity that exists, while Americans sit here with no options that are going to provide them with good paying jobs and affordable health care.
Congresswoman, let me finally ask you about one of the rifts and concerns in the Republican Party over the issue of anti-Semitism. In 2022, you did speak at a
I'm
conference
sick of this
where
anti-Semitism
a
stuff.
white nationalist. He recently said that Hitler is, quote, cool. Let me ask you about your perspective right now. Do you
Is Hitler cool,
believe
man?
there is
That's some stuff that I mean, this anti-Semitism is all just in the design, and the design is to erase our history, and every other history is more important. And that's what I mean when I say we have no representation. Without representation, you tend to disappear. And that's what's happening with our culture, with our people now. We don't have the nationality status that we're supposed to have, and that puts us in a bad position, a really bad position. So the topic today is about trust being a must. We'll start with trust. I mean, the bottom line, what is trust? Trust, the definition is a belief in a reliability and an ability or strength. Just in a nutshell, that's what it is. So trust being belief in reliability, believing that what we want from whatever we trust, we're going to get. We have no doubt that we're going to get because it requires a certain level of support in order to get to this level of trust. So how do you administer your trust? Is it something you give out like dollar bills? How do you decide how far you can go with your trust? Do you trust a friend of yours that just pop up on your doorstep and say, "Hey, I'm gonna spend the night over your house tonight," and you just let him in and say, "All right, go get on the couch," or do you say, "Hey, now you go into the hotel, don't come over here"? What do you trust to a point where it's detrimental to how we operate in society? Are we too trustworthy of what's happening in Washington, D.C.? Do we believe in people to do right by us through trusting that they'll do right by us? I mean, I don't see how we can say that we trust America when it's difficult because you don't want to come out and holler, I don't trust the USA, but I'm a USA citizen. So how do I say how I trust this country, how I believe in this country, how I love this country, when every single thing that's being done seem to be something that pull out a spoke in my wheel? It's taken away. Don't trust the yellow shirt.
But
You gonna
somebody
get
on
off
you
my
about
shirt.
on you about that shirt. Don't trust guys wearing no yellow shirt.
What is wrong with my yellow shirt, man? Leave my shirt alone. This TikTok guys
Don't
give me
trust
hell about this shirt.
don't trust nothing yellow. Yeah, but you do raise some good points about, I mean,
Mm.
there are different areas in our society. How much do we trust our politicians? How much do we trust our government? Do we trust our pastors? I mean, do we trust all those things that you and I grew up trusting at a different level than we trust today?
All right, you mentioned something. Let's go through the things you just mentioned. You started out with you said the pastor.
Well, I'd go farther back. I start out with our teachers. We trusted them.
Hmm.
It's the same level of trust today. Do we have that same relationship of trust that we had in? Well, I went to a majority black elementary. I think you
We
too
don't
went
have
to
that
one.
same level of trust though.
I mean, our
On the no,
pastors,
no.
the
Look at
pastors had a level of
Minnesota.
trust. The pastors had a level of trust. Uh, when we finally got to elect people that looked like us, there was a certain enhanced level of trust because they looked like us.
Hmm.
The teachers looked like us. The pastors looked like us. To the degree that that's increased, why is trust even an issue? We have
Hmm.
more of us in positions of power, influence.
Well, I think one of the biggest issues is we developed a, a fear of ourselves through the conditioning of our ancestors, and we don't trust what we've learned from 1863. The things that we learned when we walked off the plantation didn't help us at all because we learned more specifically the black codes. We knew what not to do to get in trouble. We knew how to stay out of jail, but we couldn't help it. We kept getting put in jail for no reason and murdered for no reason. So these are some of the things we had to look out for. So it was hard to say we could trust anybody. Trust the Emancipation Proclamation. We so happy that we got it, but can we trust what it's doing for us? Can we trust where we need to go with this piece of paper that we didn't get? We didn't get a piece of paper. We didn't get a damn thing. Only thing we got was told, you're free now. Now go. Can you imagine walking out of there with nothing and your history erased prior to that? And then what part of your history from the time you walked off the plantation till the
You're told
1950s?
all of a sudden you're free
With nothing.
with no memory of
No
nothing,
land, no
no
history,
no
no
material,
nothing.
nothing, no future, nothing.
But then you tell the trust the system. Trust what we're gonna do for you.
Trust the police.
Trust that we're gonna make it work for you. And you trust. And the thing is, we trust that they gonna make it work for us. That's what's bad. That's what can't understand. We trust that what they've taught us is what we are going to survive by. And why would the people that we've made into billionaires now no longer having access to us in the same capacity? Why would they not figure out a way to put us back in the same condition we were in before we left, rather than put us in a condition to be equal to them? They're not going to put us in a position to be equal to them. They're not going to do that. And that's what I saw as the problem. What I still see as the problem. So when they say trust America, how can we trust America when we don't have the proof that we can trust? So trust definition is the belief and the reliability. We don't have that reliability that we would expect if we want to give somebody our trust. We don't have the ability. Well, they do have the ability. The American federal government has the ability to create trust with us as a people.
Well,
But
do we have an opportunity to kind of fill some of those holes? You know, this year, this is 2026. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
There are 438 U.S. House of Representatives to be elected.
You got what?
435 U.S. House of Representatives are going to be re-elected this year.
Mm-hmm.
35 U.S. senators, 36 governors, 19,000 plus city council members, 18,000 plus school board members, 6,000 plus state legislators, 3,000 plus mayors and chief executives, and 1,000 plus judges. Can we get trust out of that? Can we increase trust out
That's
of
a
that?
lot of positions that are being filled through election.
Right. In 2026. All that's going to happen this year.
And how and out of, if you add it all together, the overall black percentage gonna come out to be about what, 3-4%?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Out of the,
Do you have anything from last year?
out of the 435 U.S. House of Representatives, 67 are black currently. But that's
That's
going
a
to change.
decent number.
But that's going to change with that
I,
Louisiana ruling.
Even though we got the black representation there, I still don't see any. I don't see the action.
Do you trust your government more because of those 67
No, I
legislators?
don't. That's why I wanted to talk about trust, because I find it hard for you or not you, but anybody to come up and tell me I should trust this when this ain't never worked for me. You know what I mean? Has this? I mean, just because I made it through my career, and just because I'm doing all right now, that don't mean that I had it peaches and cream. I had the white picket fence.
Right.
You know, I had to work hard, and I got abused to get there.
Right.
And when you say when I say abused, that don't mean sexually abused. That means mentally, physically, spiritually
Right.
abused, because I had to deal with all the things that went on in the places I went to,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I was there alone.
But you had to trust somebody in that journey. I
Hmm.
mean, you was alone, but that was somebody you confided in.
This man here going crazy on me.
What,
He's
what he
saying
say?
something. You talking like an old pastor. Go ahead, man. You just leave me alone, all right?
Yeah. See,
Let's motivate on how to make more money. Yes, sir. We're gonna get there. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna get around this trust. I just think what the subject, the answer to trust, in my opinion, would be you got to make the decision to trust, and you can't be on the fence when it comes to trust. You either gonna trust this situation or you're not.
but you got to trust in something, right? You got to
Yeah,
trust in
you're
God. You
gonna
got to
have to,
trust in.
but that don't mean you should settle in your comfort. You should compromise in your trust. When you say you got to trust something, that means you're gonna have to compromise somewhere down the line, right? You can only trust one thing. Like it's the Bronx. What is that? The Bronx Bear. He said, depend on yourself, trust in yourself, believe in yourself. That's where you're gonna find your trust. Because when you start looking outward, it's gonna be a very difficult hit and miss journey. It's not gonna be as easy as you think it's going to be. So trust is a very difficult subject to to try and conquer.
Yeah.
Now, in the middle of all that, we went to Venezuela and kidnapped the president and brought him to America to stand trial.
Right.
What is the value added to that whole situation? What are we doing that for? Is there some reason we're involved in that type of operation? There's got to be a win something in
We
that
want
situation.
we want the oil.
So we want
We
some
want the
oil.
gold. We want the gold.
We want gold.
We want oil
But what makes America think that Venezuela is just going to lay over and let get ran over like a bulldozer?
because they did it all over that part of the world. They did it in Africa. They did it in the Congo. They did it in. They've
This
done
is
it.
2026. I mean, they had the up and up back then. You know, when people had no technology, they had no awareness of what was going
Okay,
down.
they went to the largest military base in Venezuela. On the president lived on a military base. They attacked the military base, took him and his wife out in the middle of the night, and brought him back to New York.
This shit ain't funny, man. It's real.
I mean, that just happened. And then they asked Trump. They said, "Well, who gonna run Nicaragua?" He said, "The people standing behind me." I
There's
mean,
some
man,
wrong stuff going on in this country.
if it wasn't real, it wouldn't be real.
This is like a real show we're going through, right? To see this type of behavior in America, it is so interesting. The people are crying of happiness right now in Venezuela. Do you think the people in Venezuela are happy?
Well, some of them, the ones down in America, are happy. The ones that left the country,
So something's going on with him being removed. And maybe it was a good thing. You know, I would never know because I ain't never been on that level of communication. You know, Trump, they're talking about it right now. Let's see what they say.
I mean, I think fundamentally the fact that the Maduro regime is still there means that this really wasn't anything else. It really just points to they're basically saying they want a leadership there that the American government can do business with. And then again, I think points really to not.
Ain't no way. They want a leadership there for American government to do business with. But that's not all going on. You know, you still got Ukraine in a war with Russia. You still got Israel fighting Hamas. And now you got Israel fighting Iran. You got so many things happening here in the world today that cause us to be in the position we're in. Now, One of the things Donald Trump campaigned on is that he was going to take care of America. You can't take care of America going to Venezuela unless you're going over there for a reason, which we already know what the reason is, and it is what it is.
But they already talking about Cuba, man. They already talking about getting rid of that regime over
They
in
done
Cuba.
already had a problem with Cuba. They're gonna leave Cuba alone. 'Cause that don't sound. I don't think that's gonna get resolved no time soon.
I'm just saying that the United States has a proclivity of messing with black folks. I don't care whether it's black people, black countries, black groups,
What
or
you need
whether.
to trust in America, man. You're a citizen. Don't you
Yeah,
trust the country?
yeah, I trust that they're gonna mess with black folks anywhere in the world.
Gas prices are down, inflation down, and borders is closed. Go on, brother Bronx. There's no controversy between what's happening in America right now. The question is, some of the things are being done, how it's being done. You know, it's done, it's done. Who cares? If it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the manner in which the business is being conducted, the amount of bread, and when I say bread, you know what I'm talking about, being used in ways that don't seem like it's appropriate to me. In other words, there's no way there should be a family member of the president in every place they're giving billions of dollars to. That's the problem. No, I don't want Trump to give nobody free money. He's saying you want Trump to give everybody free money. No, I, we don't need to give out free money. What we need to do is qualify people and subsidize people in accordance with where they are, not where they should be or how they should be. It's so difficult for you to understand that we need to come out of this situation and be different. And then we're going to have to trust somebody. And like Mr. Claude said, we're going to have to believe in something sooner or later. Why not believe in me? Claude, you're on mute. You got to take yourself off mute. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but believing is also trusting. Who do you trust?
Well, do we have a choice? We got local government. Do you trust your local government? Do you know anybody in your local government? In other words, the homeowners association,
City council,
the city council,
state rep,
the state rep, the zoning
county commission.
department. You got the zoning department. You got the dog catching department. You got all these different departments. Do you know anybody in any department? I'm not. I'm just throwing these questions out because it's a general thing. If you don't know anybody in these departments, it's time for you to start learning some of these departments. You should have a friend in the garbage pickup department. You might have a bulk garbage that you want to get rid of. If you don't know anybody, you got to call somebody and find out if you can do this. Or they can make it easy for you, or they can make it hard for you. You don't want it sitting out in your front yard for 3 weeks. So if you just know somebody, in order for you to know somebody, you got to get out there and go to these meetings, look for when the city council meet, look for when the homeowners association meet, look for when the elections are, look for the positions available, look who ran for these positions. Many of those positions don't even get filled because people don't run for them.
Right. That's true.
We have to be more diligent. I mean, even if we can scour those voting registers and find positions that we can get elected into. All we got to do is get our name on the ballot. But you ain't gonna get your name on the ballot if you ain't involved. You got to get involved. I mean, that's our biggest issue. We think we can do everything by ourselves. And we can't. We got to trust somebody, even though we already know we're gonna get screwed. But you're gonna have to trust somebody anyway.
Well, I'm glad you kind of tilted toward the politics side. Who do you trust in
Mm.
this Senate race?
Hmm?
Who do you trust in the candidates that are running for Senate?
There's too many people. It's almost like playing football to me. It's a game to them, and they're in competition like it is a game, and I don't see it as being a very serious endeavor, so I don't follow it.
Mm.
So I don't know who's running for what until it get close to time for me to vote somewhere, and I'll go vote. And I don't know half of the people I'm voting for.
Right.
That's a problem we all have, I think, not knowing our candidates.
Well, voter education is important, but I mean, I think it goes beyond just voter education, like Democrat versus Republican. I think it goes to the candidate that you put your trust in.
Mhm.
That forget about the skin color, forget about the nationality, but a candidate that
Look
you
at
can.
the issue.
Well, look at the issue, but look at the candidate that you think best represents your views, your
Hmm.
interests,
Hmm.
not your skin color necessarily.
I
That
agree with
that
you on that.
that don't always get us there. It's a big election year. I get the reason why I threw those numbers out there,
Hmm.
and I
Can
think
you
it's.
do those numbers once more?
Yeah, let me look. Let me get them. Let me pull them up. Let me pull them up.
It ain't about voting blue or red, my friend. It's about voting.
Well, it is about voting blue or red
Hmm.
because that's the messaging that's out there.
That's what
That's the messaging you're gonna get from the trusted agents.
a blue and a red agent.
Yeah, you're gonna get a blue and you're gonna get a blue perspective. You're gonna get a red perspective, and the
Hmm.
voter got to choose on which perspective that's in their best
It's
interest.
best in their best interest. You back on mute too. Your stuff just
I'm
keep
stuck.
muting you out.
I'm stuck in the mute. I'm stuck in the mute world.
You know, we have to really understand that trust is something. It's the foundation of anything. It's the
Right.
foundation of a personal relationship, a friend relationship, any type of relationship. It's a relationship that I'm forming right now
Right.
with the Bronx Star Bear. You know, you got to start somewhere, and if you want trust to equal Trump, then so be it. It equals Trump. You
Right.
know, you got to meet people where they are. If you're a Trump supporter, that's okay with me, my friend. I don't care who you support. I don't care
Okay.
who you vote for.
Here are the numbers again. What's on the ballot? There are 435 U.S. House of Representatives on the ballot.
Hmm.
35. That means every member of the House of Representatives is up for re-election.
That's
Every
a
member.
lot.
That's 435 choices, America. Half of the United States senators, 35 of the senators are up. A third of the senators, actually.
Hmm.
36 governors are up. 19,000 plus city council members will be up for election
That's a lot there, ain't it?
in 2026. 18,000 plus school board members. We talk about how important education is, especially with this administration. 6,000 plus state legislators at the local level. 3,000 plus mayors and city executives. And then 1,000 plus judges. All 50 states are having elections. One massive election year. And
Hmm. That's a
trust
lot.
and trust is important when it comes to elections
Hmm.
and electing who we want to best represent us.
So that's what they're really doing. These people running for these offices, their one number one objective is to gain our trust. If they gain our trust, they know they're gonna get our vote. I'll
Well, the
stop
lack.
by with red shirts to go with that gray suit. You will look better and think clearer. All right, come on with it, Bronx Bear.
But they on you about that
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 yellow shirt,
yellow
right?
yellow shit. I'm wearing black every day.
I'm gonna have to wear black from now on too. Where you fussing? It's all good though. I appreciate you. I mean, when you talked about, you thought about, and I appreciate you thinking about me. Um, Trust and loyalty is the outcome of having trust found in that initial contact or that initial relationship. If you never develop any trust in there, I mean, you're not going to develop any loyalty at all. So you can forget about loyalty. Loyalty is something that's rare. And can you imagine having the where you want loyalty? Like if you're in an organization and you take a pledge to your brothers, there's a certain level of loyalty that you have toward the people that are in that organization.
Right.
You got to be able to recognize those people from far away, from close up, from near and far. You got to be able to do certain things that show your loyalty to this organization or this group of beliefs. You got a set of beliefs over here that for the Church of God in Christ. You got a set of beliefs over here for the Methodists. You got a set of beliefs over here for the Catholics. You got sets of beliefs, and loyalty to these sets of beliefs that might get a little. I don't know how you can have 1,000 different sets of beliefs for the same thing and expect it to be real. You got to be wise enough to realize that some things that people are doing are not doing. They're not doing it to be helpful to you. The loyalty, the trust is not for you. As long as you can make this person the way they want to be, they're going to have that loyalty and that trust for you. But the moment you are not able to provide that loyalty and that trust level that they think you should have, then things change. You have to just be prepared to give the best you can give to establish the best trust you can with someone or friend or job or coworker or whatever the case may be. You got to trust that they can take care of A, they are going to take care of B, and they're going to take care of C, and you don't have to think twice about it, especially if you're depending on them to take care of something for you. Jesus, family, Trump, trust. I tell you that anything the Democrats do, okay. See, that's a big problem too. Worrying about the Democrats and worrying about the Republicans. Those are nonchalant. They don't even matter. What matters is who you trust and who you believe in and who you have loyalty with as the outcome of your trust. You know, when people are loyal, they will trust and follow, and then they will allow a leader to evolve from that trust and that loyalty. If you never get around a group of anything that can establish first a little trust and then next a little loyalty, then out of that a leadership will evolve. A leader will evolve.
Isn't there a saying say trust and verify?
Yeah, you should verify. All
But
right,
but do you trust if you got to verify?
yes, I would think you do. I mean,
I thought trust
I
would
can
be.
shake hands with you right now and trust that this is the what it is. But until it happens, it ain't happened. That's the verification part.
So how much trust do you have?
You only have enough trust that you can extend, and you never know how much it's going to be. It's going to be whatever it is. I mean, it could be a lot. It could be a little. And if the more trust you invest, the more committed you are to seeing it through. If you're willing to just put a little bit of trust into it and think you're gonna move through this particular part
Right.
with that little bit of trust when it requires this much trust, then you're not gonna make it. And I think that's what it all boiled down to. I was watching this movie out of Hunger Games, right? Where they went up to the roof and they said you're gonna have to fall down through this black hole in order to move to the next step blindly. So you get up on the ledge and they push you off the ledge and you fall down into this black hole. But you get caught by a net down at the bottom. But you don't know that, but you got to trust in order to be part of this group.
Oh, okay.
So if you didn't take that fall, if I ain't about to jump up there and I ain't falling no damn hole like that. If you go to take that
So,
attitude,
so you couldn't see the bottom of the hole, right?
yeah, because you can see the bottom of the hole. So you're not gonna do it.
So trust they didn't. So you have to trust. So if you said I'm gonna push you in this hole, but there's a net down at the bottom gonna catch you, I gotta trust what you just said.
Well, they don't even tell them that. They didn't tell them that. They just say you got to just stand on this ledge and fall, and that's what they did, and that's the only way they can move to the next level. And you know that they do this little what they call it, team building thing,
Hmm.
where they want you to stand up and fall back.
Right.
That whatever you do, don't ever be the one falling. You don't want to do that
Be the
person.
one catching. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just some bull. How much trust do you have to stand up there and fall back in a bunch of people that you work with that you don't know if they want you to hit the floor or not? Some people might, some people might not. So that's a choice you have to make when you decide.
Yeah, but I think you're raising a good point about human frailty. Is there a human being that you can trust your life with?
That's
Does
a
that
very good question.
does that
There's some people out there that will put their lives in the hands of others. It's trust. Trust does go to that level on some occasions. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't exist because I think it does. But I just think we're so vulnerable. We screw it up more than not. I'll put it that way. We have a long way to go when it comes to understanding how to trust and understanding how to be loyal. We're still in the learning phases of that. And that's why I think that's a very important topic. And that is a very reason we don't have a leader because of loyalty, friendship, and trust. We don't have a leader because of that. You cannot sit here and tell me that Al Green, not Al Green, Al Sharpton is our leader. You cannot sit here and tell me that Jesse Jackson is our leader.
Okay, well, who are you apt to trust more? A dark skinned brown-eyed brother, or a light skinned green-eyed brother?
Goddamn sure ain't trusting that light skinned green eyed brother.
Why?
You know, just because that's just bred into me. But he could be just as good, just like in this organization I was in, right?
Right.
I don't have a problem with them bringing in other nationalities other than black. And this is a black organization. But I'd be damned if I'm going to allow that other nationality to ascend to the number one seat. Not on my watch. It ain't happening.
Even though they may be the most
Proficient
qualified,
person involved,
right?
they are not going to sit in that seat.
Ain't that kind of bias, prejudice,
No,
racist?
no. See, that's what I mean. Black people have been conditioned to overcome, improvise, and adapt to situations. But they don't draw the line in nothing. What do you draw the line in? There ain't no line. I draw the line. There's certain things that ain't gonna happen under my watch, and that's one of them.
And
And
Trump.
I ain't got no problem they with them being in there and functioning and working like everybody else, but they ain't gonna be no. I ain't calling you master.
Name how many black folks are in the Trump administration, other than HUD, other than the guy at HUD.
And
Can you
that's
point
not
to
gonna
anybody?
happen.
Can you point to anybody else?
Mm-mm. That see the thing is about the president. We have to understand that no matter what we think, and no matter what we say, he's the president, and he's gonna be the president, and he's gonna be Donald J. Trump. And I and ain't nothing I could say or you or anybody else can make Donald J. Trump be somebody different.
But where are the voices
That should say something, right?
that should be saying something about the lack of diversity in the Trump administration? Where
That's
are those
that's
voices?
exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Claude. There's no trust, there's no friendship, there's no leadership, there's no loyalty. Nowhere. No, not in the basketball world, not in the football world, not in the baseball world, not in the tennis world, not in the hockey world, not in the swimming world, not in none of those worlds. There's no consistency of our people where there's honesty, trust, loyalty, friendship. There's no place. These guys got how many people playing in total in the NFL? What 30,000 people?
Yeah, it's so funny.
I'm just gonna say 30,000 people in the NFL. Why don't they have an affinity group that stands for black issues? What about it? What about basketball? Since they got most players are black, why don't they have an affinity group that deals with Black Players Association and teach them how to deal with their money so they don't end up broke after 10 years or 20 years in the sport? Why don't they have? Are they signing contracts to say you can't help your people? We want to trust these. They trusted rappers and rappers. I want to say the F word so bad over society, over society, and they did that over society and got rich off of it. And now they are all showing all these ridiculous situations, and that's entertainment. I'm so sick and tired of it. I mean, the trust. We trusted them to come out and sell music that would bring us to another level, but it took us down 10 levels. We trusted that there would be another person to come up and speak for us and make us into a nation of true people. We trusted that would happen, but ain't none of that happened. The ones that we did trust, they saw that we trusted them. So they made sure we had nobody to trust.
Do you know how you can? Do you know how if integration is your goal? You know how you can absorb 49 million into 360 million and make it seem like we're not even there anymore. That's what integration has done.
Yep.
The black middle class and the black upper class are so integrated that they become non-existent.
They disappear. You only see them at certain things.
Right.
I've never seen a bunch of black people in one place until I saw them at the NAACP Freedom Dinner. That's the only place I ever saw that many black people in tuxedos, looking good.
Because we've integrated into the 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 middle class has so integrated into white society that you don't even know they exist.
You never think that they exist in San Antonio. You never think because
They're there,
you
but
go
they're
to
integrated.
these little clubs, you see a handful here, a handful there.
But they're so integrated in San Antonio. They're on the north side. They're integrated with the
Everywhere,
white. Right.
everywhere.
The ones that can. The ones that can't are still over there in District Two.
But it ain't that many left, and the ones in District 2 don't get involved.
Well, that's a problem. The ones that are
But
left
there's
over.
more to it than District 2. We're in more places than District 2, but we don't represent ourselves in more places than
No,
District
but
2.
because you're happy nappy.
What?
You're happy nappy. I mean, what are you gonna complain about? Your trash get picked up on time. Your streets are nice. You got nice housing. Your
Mhm,
kids go to a good school. You
mhm.
got a decent job. What's that of
What
being
is that
happy
a
about?
complaint about?
You're happy nappy.
Yeah.
Versus the unhappy nappy who just have given up, not complaining at all.
So once if we could create some honesty and loyalty towards the people, I mean, we could find a leader will emerge from that group of people, but that group of people has to be able to consent to meeting as an open group with an open forum, and somebody will emerge as a leader. But you will never, ever, if you don't have a leader in your community, you screwed. You are absolutely screwed if there is no leader in your community that look like you. You hear what I said? You are screwed. So that don't mean that because they look like you, they won't screw you. They'll screw you too. They'll mess you over just like anybody else. So the thing is, at least you got some color in there.
But okay in San Antonio where you are you connected to blackness?
No,
Are you any
no.
black church, black organizations,
But is that the only way? If you don't go to church, you have no connection in any city in America.
a social civic organization, Masons, Masonic lodges,
If you don't go to church, you have no affiliations in the city.
with Black America?
Because that is the biggest pacifier I ever seen. As long as you keep people sucking on that pacifier, they never gonna graduate to talking.
Wait, you talking about the black church?
Yeah.
Well, but it's been our bedrock. It's been where our leaders come out
It
of.
served its purpose.
You don't think it has a purpose anymore?
No, it served its purpose. Its purpose did was served us well to establish a foundation of us, to establish a trajectory of us. But the church did its job. Everything has a time and a season, and the season for the church has expired.
Well, Reverend Haynes up in Dallas, at that big church up in Dallas, he's running for Crockett's seat.
Mm,
You know
I
Reverend
don't
Haynes.
know him.
He's Friendship West Baptist Church.
Mm,
He's running for Congress.
mm.
He's running for Crockett's seat.
But that good, bad, ugly, what?
Other than I mean, it's kind of like the guy in Georgia, the senator, the black senator. Is he good or bad?
Mm,
He's pastor of Dr. King's old church, Ebenezer Baptist
oh,
Church.
Warwick.
Word. Is that good, bad? Has that been more of a moral voice in Congress? Do you hear Warwick speaking out on these issues of war and peace and all this? I mean, has it has the voice of the common people been elevated having a preacher in Congress?
I mean, it don't matter who or where these people are, especially having a person in Congress, Warwick in Congress, or
I mean,
anything.
they have a
If
large
that
platform.
person it doesn't have the vision or the global vision of what they should be doing, like Crockett, then they don't, they're worthless. If you don't like, what's that little Hispanic lady name? Mayon. She had her time in Congress when she was raising all kind of hell. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene had her time when she was raising hell. Now Crockett had her time when she was raising hell. But the thing is, if you don't capitalize on your time, when the time is right, you have to make your move, and that is what we have failed to claim. Because when we get an emerging speaker and they're right on the edge of the time, they fall backwards off of that edge instead of falling forward. And if they fall forward, they fall backwards because there's nobody behind them to hold them up. They let them fall. And so we, as a people, should be self-checking, not checking the white man, because the white man ain't got to do nothing to us, because we do it to ourselves. If we don't check ourselves and start standing up to the truth and being trustworthy and trying to pull people together, you can't just pick somebody and say this is going to be the leader. You got to put people together in the pot, and somebody in that pot is going to emerge as the leader. You can't pick that leader. That leader got the situation got to pick that leader. That's the only way that leader is going to come out in San Antonio or anywhere else in America. Is that leader has to come out of the situation. And Lord help it if it's a tragedy. Why does it always have to be a tragedy? All we have to do is for once get off our duff and go meet in one location once a month and discuss situations that happen around the city. If we're not doing the bare minimum, which is meeting once a month to discuss situation, arrest, or new laws that are being changed, or discuss court cases, discuss something once a month for 1 hour. We ain't about DODO because we can't do the bare minimum of trying to pick a leader. That's all it takes, bare minimum. I met for the whole month of February every Saturday from 12 to 4 for the whole month in 2023 or 2024. And I think it was 2024. And I probably had maybe out of 4 weeks, I had 20 total people to come through to try and learn something about civics. About 20 people. In 4 weeks, though, or 4 hours at the library, and nobody showed. So I'm saying there's certain people out here that put in time to try and change the trajectory of a community, but the community got to respond too. They can't. People just can't sit on their butt and wait till a tragedy to respond, and that's what we see. It's so you got a pocket of people that are out there trying to make things happen, but that pocket of people ain't enough to get stuff done. That pocket of people been out there for the last 30 years, and people see them and they think they're not out there doing anything, but they've been trying for 30 years to get people to come together to do something. And nobody will do a damn thing. These people will sit on their ass until the damn fight comes to their door. And that's what our problem is. Excuse my language. I don't usually use that language.
Why is race different than religion? Why do we try to integrate black people, but we don't integrate Jewish people? We don't say Jews
That's
should
right.
integrate. Why is it that only
We had to be disappeared. Starting back in 1924 with Mr. Joseph Plecker, whose objective was to erase every race other than white, and he did it. And the way he did it by the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. And that Racial Integrity Act of 1924 made every single person other than white people colored. It didn't matter what you were. If you were not white, you were colored. And that's how we lost our identity. And for people nowadays, I don't think people really want to know the truth. Because you ever notice how sometimes you try to tell somebody the truth, they don't want to hear it because they know it's the
because
truth,
it's
like the
real?
truth, huh?
Because the real truth doesn't sound truthful at all. It sounds more like a lie.
Yeah, it sounds more like a lie. But the real truth is the real truth, man. And we won't accept the real truth. That's the biggest issue I can see, that we won't accept the real truth. We rather accept the joyful lie than the real truth. This joyful lie, it takes us to a level where it's unfreaking believable that we have to let things go in order to get along, in order to survive, in order to make it in this society. Sooner or later, we're going to have to put our foot on the door, on the threshold, and say who we are. There's a new fallout of after they attacked Venezuela. You're on mute, Claude. You back on
Second
mute.
administration now, that he tends to deploy this kind of strategy. We saw it with Vladimir Putin last Sunday, where he stood side by side next to Ukrainian leader Zelensky, and he essentially said that President Putin is ready for peace, that he's open to it, that he's never seen him so interested. And then hours later, we saw the Russians try to blame an attack on Putin's residence on Ukraine that was flagged as a false flag operation by the U.S. So
There's so much going on in the world right now. Russia is still fighting with Ukraine, and our president says he's stopped 8 wars, and it's kind of gets crazy all over.
Well,
So,
I was told that, I don't know, man. It just, the world is about who has the money. That's what the world
of course,
runs on. It doesn't run on oil. It runs on the dollar
hmm
or some derivative of the dollar. And who controls that dollar controls the world. You know, we shrouded in democracy, we shrouded in justice, we shrouded in equality. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the dollar bill. That's what runs the world.
hmm
And I don't care whether it's Jew or Gentile. That's what
trust
runs.
in truth and democracy. So you the lie, you believed it. Nope, not true, the Bronx brother.
Now, but a lot of people did. Just like a lot of people believe in Santa Claus. A
Yeah.
lot of people believe in tradition. That's a lie. They've been
hmm
sold that. They made it so real that can't nobody tell them it ain't real.
That's right, and they pass it on generation after generation.
We just finished Christmas. One of the
hmm
neighborhoods in Houston, one of the black neighborhoods, the black uh, uh, person in charge of the neighborhood put up a black Santa, and the black folks complained.
Hey, I got a joke for you. Did I ask you about
No,
the crack?
that wasn't no joke. That was real. Black people said that the black Santa was an embarrassment to the neighborhood.
That's like having a black Jesus on the wall. You better put that white Jesus back up there with them blue eyes. We're stuck on stupid. Seem like,
Now we're stuck on. That's how we were educated, man.
yeah, we got these traditions were wrong. They were
If you
lies.
were
They were built on lies.
if you were born in the South
Mm-hmm.
and there was a white Jesus on the wall in the house that you was raised in, what are you gonna think? Are you gonna say, well, that's not true?
Mhm. And you know, the people couldn't change that white Jesus on that wall. The landowner put those Jesus on those walls. They put the white Jesus on those walls and made those people keep it on that wall. That was not something that they did. The black people did because every black house had a white Jesus on the wall, and the white people made sure that they did.
I'm
And
thinking.
because I took the white Jesus off my mama's wall, boy, I got my butt beat. That
Well,
I had to put that Jesus back up on that wall because I had to. I went and got a black picture of Jesus. I had done a whole bunch of stuff. She didn't like that at all. But I mean, we're bamboozled with some of these traditions that we follow, and they're just to get our money, and we're just as stupid and gullible as we've ever been by following these traditions. You know, we go into Christmas, we go into Thanksgiving, we spend a bunch of money on bullshit. We go in the Halloween, we spend a bunch of money on bull crap.
what's amazing? They put up the Valentine stuff before January was
Yeah,
over.
I saw that out before we even got to New Year's. I mean, up at Walmart, they're not playing. They are ahead of the schedule on all of it.
I
They got
mean,
all the Valentine stuff is out today. So now the Valentine stuff is out, and then they're gonna get rid of that. And then it's gonna be Easter, and then it's gonna be Mother's Day, then it's gonna be Father's Day, then it's gonna be every one of these days you're gonna have to spend a bunch of money.
and you wonder why we're broke. Why
Yeah,
Americans are
and
broke.
you're gonna run your credit cards up, you're gonna run your bank account up, and you're looking at people saying, "Damn, I need money to do this." It's your fault. You gotta slow your roll. You gotta stop buying what you don't need. That's the only way you're gonna save your money. Stop buying what you don't need. Everything that you don't need, don't buy it anymore. Don't stop buying these things. I mean, they got us hook, line, and sinker. We gonna spend money on stuff we don't need. We're gonna spend money on fast food. If you eating at a fast food restaurant more than 2, 3 times a week, something wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You're just eating there too much. You should be cutting back on eating all that saturated fat and that salt that they put on that food at those fast food restaurants.
But do other countries are we? Do other countries celebrate Valentine's Day?
I don't know. I don't
Do
know.
other countries celebrate all these commercial holidays?
I know they do Christmas. They definitely do Christmas in Germany
And New Year's, they do
and
all
New
the
Year's
clubs.
and Thanksgiving.
Not they don't do Thanksgiving across the world, do they?
I think
I,
no, they don't do Thanksgiving in Germany. But America, so many Americans over there, they do
now they
Thanksgiving.
do Christmas, some version of
Mhm.
Christmas.
Invest your money is discipline. Teach that instance of the trust, stupidity. Invest your money, it's discipline. Teach that instead of this trust.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. Good point, caller.
Yeah, it's good to voice your comments. I'll definitely read what you say. So, I'm not going to change out your word unless it's personal, and then I'll have to tell you what time it is. Hey, hey, outlaw, what's happening with you? This is something we had to talk about. The three C's of trust. Is competence, character, and empathy. So your confidence is basically saying if you put your word out there, you're going to do what you said you're going to do. So people can trust your word as being your word, and you don't take kindly to somebody questioning your word when you told them that this is what you're going to do. But if you tell somebody that you're going to meet them at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, then don't be there at 7:30 and say, "Oh man, I just almost forgot." And think that ain't nothing wrong with that 30 minutes, because that 30 minutes you just lost, this 30 minutes nobody will ever retrieve in life. It's gone. You just took 30 minutes from whoever that was you were supposed to be picking up 30 minutes ago. So your confidence is very important when you give somebody your word. If I tell I tell you about my daughter. I bought her a car when she graduated high school, and I said, sign this contract. This contract said you're not going to leave within 50 miles of this house with that car unless you get prior approval from me to go anywhere outside of this 50-mile radius. Okay, Daddy. Sign that damn contract with no problem. Not even 10 days later, she's in North Carolina somewhere with that car. Gone. Guy got out there and got in a wreck. That's how I found out about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ever known that she done booked and left state. She gone. In a little old bitty car, man. I couldn't believe that. You in North Carolina in that car. That's crazy. The three C's are cash, more cash, and I'm making some crazy cash. You're right. The three C's, confidence, character. Your character, everybody know who your character is when you're growing up. You know, they know what type of child you are. They say, don't leave that out with so-and-so around here. Get that money going to the store with it. You know, and then some kids say, well, you ain't got to worry about him. He ain't going to mess with your stuff.
But you know what? You're really talking about discipline
Yeah,
versus undisciplined.
yeah.
Because a disciplined child is going to do their homework, going to do everything that they're needed to do. An undisciplined child is not going to do their homework, going to fudge on everything.
Mm,
And an undisciplined child becomes an undisciplined adult. And an undisciplined adult, there are serious consequences to being undisciplined as an adult. Financial consequences, uh,
mm,
all kind of consequences. And that's why, that's why I really think youth programs and stuff are really important.
mm.
Uh, Working with young people, because an adult is too late, bro.
Yeah, it's too late. I think we got to figure out how we're going to find a leader. I think our biggest issue right now, we have no leader, no
Well,
leadership.
I don't think, I don't think, I think we're thinking about leadership in the traditional leadership sense. I don't think that that's what. I don't think that that's the kind of leader we. That's why Al Sharpton is still a leader, cause he's
He's a
cause he,
leader for who?
yeah, but he's a traditional. He comes out of that traditional.
He's in the same. He's the next. You got the church realm. You got their period of operation. Then you got the Jesse Jacksons
But
and the Al Sharptons and period of operation.
but they're
And now
relevant.
we in this third period of operation, which we have not defined. We
Well,
don't know what this period of operation is because we don't have any tools in the or any wood in the fire. We ain't got nothing going on.
right.
We
And
had something going on during the church operation. We had something going on during the Al Sharpton operation, and now we have nothing going on.
right. And I'm
That's the
saying that
problem.
we have not gotten beyond that 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 religious leadership, uh, 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 because at the basis of Al Sharpton's leadership is the black church,
The religion leadership, yeah,
right?
that's
And
right.
and we don't have a leader in industry necessarily that's speaking on behalf of the people, because
Hmm.
business people are about business.
Hmm.
They're about making money for their
Yeah,
business.
Bronx said they took us down the wrong road.
Well, I don't think they took us down the wrong road. I think they took us down the road that we had to go down to get to be able to have the discussions that we're having today. Because without that leadership, we
Hmm.
wouldn't. You think we would be at this point
No, we would not. I just don't understand how we made it to this point without them suffering at all.
Well, I mean, without the Abernathy's, the Dr. Kings, even the Al Sharptons, you don't think that we would? I mean, I don't think that we would be where we are
Without
without
them. Yeah, they were significant now. Don't get me wrong, they were significant in our past by getting us crossed a particular level of ground.
the
And
Jesse
they got us
Jackson.
past that level of ground. They got us past that. And now once they got us past that, they're at their capacity. They've done everything they could possibly do for this society.
They
They're at
max.
capacity.
They
So
maxed
now
out.
we need somebody that
But why
can
do we
carry it.
need somebody? I mean, why?
Because you cannot move forward as individuals.
But why do we need
I'm
somebody?
telling you, we can't move forward as individuals. What can we do as individuals? Nothing. We have to form groups, and we have to form a significant group of people with a significant, specific person designed to speak for us.
But we have
Because every one of us can't go to the table,
the Urban League. We have the NAACP.
which are doing nothing. You never ever hear from these
We
organizations.
have the Divine Nine.
You don't hear from them either. Only thing you hear from all these organizations is a scholarship fund and some one of the members that died name. That's it. They don't do very much outside of that. Not a
You
single
have
one of those organizations
you have
do
the
very
Black
much out of
Church,
giving out scholarships.
and you still have the Black Church. So we still have the foundational leadership.
But there's nothing coming. I can't believe we got all these churches and not. I don't even want to go down that road, Claude, because I'd be hell on churches because there's too many people and too much leadership going on in these churches for us not to have a consolidated movement going on.
What would that
That's
look
that's
like?
huh.
What would that look like today?
What it would look like is the biggest fight this country has ever seen, because you just get one city with all the black churches pulling together on one thing, you'll
I
see the
mean,
power.
you got the Muslims.
It don't matter. You just get every religious organization under one roof and put out a charter. This is what we need to do. But see, the thing is, they do this as pastors. They meet once a month and they come up with the topic, because every church you go to this month gonna be teaching the same thing, and they do this a month in advance or a few months in advance at a meeting at one of the black restaurants.
Well, until we get you're right. Because when you look at what the National Baptist Convention did with this Target situation,
Hmm.
I mean, and it took an independent black church in Atlanta, New Birth, to call out that church. Did
Oh,
any
what they did?
did any other denomination call them out other than New Birth?
Nope, nobody. I haven't heard anybody say anything.
Did Al Sharpton or any other the
Once a
NAACP
month.
or any of the other groups say anything?
No, nobody said anything. I haven't heard a single word.
Now Roland Martin spoke about it.
Yeah, Roland Martin speaks out about a lot of different things too,
And see,
and I admired his commentaries.
and see
I
the
think
black.
he could call a national meeting, and people will attend.
You think Roland could?
Yeah, but the thing is, don't put the same sorry ass people on that podium, and that's been our biggest problem. We always put the same people on the podium. I don't care what we have in any city where it's a black thing, it's going to be the same people.
Right. And they got us to, and not to dismiss those people, they got us to this point, but we need somebody else to take us to the next point, right? Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah, they've taken us far as they can go.
All they can do is talk about the past.
What happened yesterday? They cannot put us in a position to move forward in the future. Jasmine Crockett could probably take us to another level, but I don't know nobody else in that position to take us there.
So you think Jasmine could take us there politically to that next
Yeah,
level?
she's smart enough to take us there.
Yeah. And
She
she
could do
is
it.
smart. Yeah, she's a smart lawyer.
So the three C's of trust is competence, character, and empathy. And then there's four P's of leadership, which are perception, process, people, and projection. So trust being a firm belief in reliability in the ability or strength. Loyalty is a firm, consistent support And then we have leadership, the action of having followers.
Right.
And what Claude brought to the table today was something that blew me away. The 435 U.S. representatives, 35 senators, 36 governors, 19 thousand Kansas City council, 18,000 school board members, 6,000 state legislators. It's a lot of people available, a lot of positions available to be elected to this year, 2026. So if you're not involved in politics right now, I suggest you get involved. And the only way we're going to get anywhere is through politics. As much as I don't like politics, I'm still going to be in politics because that's the only way we're going to move. Um, this is the Black News Network, the real voice of Black USA. We've been broadcasting right at an hour, a little over an hour. I like to come on and do my commentary for 1 hour with my co-host, Mr. Claude. I want to say welcome back and thank you so much for being part of the show today. And I miss you, my friend. I hope your holidays were beautiful and you had a great time. And glad to see you back.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Glad to be part of the conversation. Hopefully, by being part of the conversation, we can begin to be part of the solution.
Yes.
And so I look forward to the 52 weeks of the year. We're going to have 52 conversations, and we hope to include, many other listeners out there to join us for this conversation. It's not necessarily structured. It's a little bit different than other shows. We tend to go back and forth on issues, but we're speaking to the common people. And we want people to understand what we're saying about the issues that we talk about. So I look forward to 2026 and look forward to our continued conversations and continuing to enlighten our people.
Thank you so much, Ms. Claude. He mentioned something that we always have to remember is that this show is not a script show. We talk what we want to talk about, and there's no set rule that we talk a certain way. So thank you so much for being a part of the Black News Network, BNN 247. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, BNN 247, and like us on Facebook and comment with us on Instagram. Thank you so much. This is BNN 247.